Hello again, to all my food warriors. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a break from the regular kitchen. We're going to be kind of moving into the pastry kitchen for a little bit. And we're going to be working with one of my favorite ingredients in the pastry kitchen, vanilla beans. These things are absolutely fantastic. When COVID hit and there were limited assortment of things on the shelves, we got into making our own vanilla sugar, vanilla extract, and we kept on doing it even after products returned to the shelves because the flavor's better, we know what's in it, and just the intensity of the vanilla was just that much better. And so these are things we can easily make at home, much more economically than we can actually buy them ready-made. And so we've continued to make these all the way through, and they are absolutely phenomenal. So what I have here is a clean mason jar. We're going to start with making our own homemade vanilla extract. So to a 1 liter mason jar, I'm going to be using 10 vanilla beans. We want to make sure that our vanilla beans are beautifully fresh, they're pliable, they're not brittle. And what I have here are 8 beans, and this is the way that I've prepared them. So with a sharp paring knife and a cutting board, all I've done is I've cut them in half. And then what I'm going to do is just run my knife right through the bean. And this way, what I've got is a bean that's split down the middle. I'm not going to scrape out any of the middle. It will come out and it will flavor the vanilla extract as it's soaking. So I will take my second half of the bean, same thing, run my knife all the way through it, make sure that it's all the way down to the tip, and just throw that in. Now this recipe will easily make 1 liter of vanilla extract, and what you want to do is you want to keep this in your cupboard in a cool, dark place to cure and to flavor for a minimum of 3 to 6 months. But I've got one that I've made that's been in my cupboard for about 1.5 years. It really doesn't go bad. It lasts indefinitely. Alcohol is a natural preservative, as is sugar, and so this has a little bit of both, and so it literally has a shelf life of virtually indefinite. So again, my last one is in here. This is my mason jar. All of my vanilla beans are in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. This is just regular granulated sugar, and then we want to go in there with about half of the mason jar full of a good quality vodka. Now, if you wouldn't drink the vodka, obviously don't use it, but what we want to do is use the alcohol in the vodka as a solvent, and this is really what's going to extract the vanilla flavor from these vanilla beans. So I'm only going to go to about half, use about half a liter of vodka in this case. There we are. And it looks like it's about half. And then what I'm going to do is fill the rest up just with regular water. There we are. There we are. And then we're just going to put a lid on this. I like these wide mouth versions of the mason jars because they're easier to work with and you can get stuff in and out a lot easier. And we're just going to give this a shake. And all we want to do is dissolve that sugar. And literally once we have that dissolved, we're going to give this a shake every couple of weeks or every time we go into the cupboard and we see it, and we'll just give it a shake. And literally, this will be perfectly clear to start. This is the version that I've had aging in my cupboard for about, I'd say, 12 to 18 months. It's only going to pick up so much color. It's not going to get really any darker than this. And really, this is fantastic stuff. I go through about a liter of these in my baking and my cooking, probably about every year or so. And so I always want to have one as backup. I've got a bottle that I use, and what I do is once it's ready, I dump in the entire contents of the mason jar, the vanilla beans, and all of the liquid, and I just pour it out as necessary. Once I'm done, I'll just start from scratch. And so I always want to have 1 jar in reserve, and so this is now what's going to be sitting in our pantry for the next little while as reinforcements. And there we are, homemade vanilla extract. It does not get any easier than this. So we'll just put this aside. Second thing we're going to make today is vanilla sugar. And this is phenomenally useful in terms of baking applications. Anywhere where you're going to be using sugar, I mean, vanilla is one of those ingredients. It's almost like the salt of the pastry kitchen. It just elevates everything else that it comes into contact with, whether it's fruit or other desserts, whipped cream. It really brings it to a whole other level. So I've bought my vanilla in these little 5-bean vials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a batch of vanilla sugar. So in my food processor, I've got 5 vanilla beans. I'm just going to cut them up into about 1-inch long segments. And I'm just going to put these right into my food processor with the blade attachment in there. So I'm just going to give these a quick shot on high. All I want to do is just break these up a little bit. So I don't want these to go for too long, maybe about 20 to 30 seconds. Just to start to break those beans down. There we are. Oh, the smell in there is phenomenal. So what I'm going to throw in now is 1 kilo of sugar. So with the 5 vanilla beans, I've got 1 kilo of sugar. And I'm just going to load this into our food processor. And now I'm going to let this go on high for about 5 minutes. And what I want to do is just break those beans down and absorb the flavor of those beans into my sugar. So I will give this about 5 minutes and I will see you in 5. All right, and we are done. It's been about 5 minutes. Oh, the smell in this kitchen is absolutely phenomenal. There we are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now you will see as you're doing this that your sugar will basically change from a bright white into a beautiful pale beige as it basically takes on not just the color but the flavor of the vanilla. Oh, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to run this through. What we have here is just a fine mesh sieve, because any of those bits and pieces of the vanilla beans, we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to remove those. There we are. We'll just take the blade out and we will just put this right through our sieve. So you can see there are some chunks of the outside of the vanilla pod. There we are. And we will just shake this through a sieve. And what we have here, I'm telling you, from the point of view of culinary currency, this is absolutely fantastic. You can sprinkle this over fruit. If you were to roast fruit in the oven, a little bit of vanilla sugar really elevates that dish. We've made roasted pears on this channel. Without the vanilla sugar, it would be just really, really flat in my opinion. Anytime we're making whipped cream or we're making really any kind of dessert, vanilla sugar is such an upgrade from regular sugar. And that's it. And all I would do now, and give this just a quick taste. The fragrance of the vanilla. And this will just get better and better over time. So all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this in a resealable plastic container, keep it in my cupboard, and literally this will last me the better part of a couple of years. So this is absolutely fantastic. Great to have on hand. Before we kind of cap things off, we're just going to get back to our vanilla extract here for a sec. So even though it's literally been 5 minutes, this is already starting to darken. It's already started. The alcohol in here is a solvent, as is water, but alcohol is a much better solvent at extracting the flavor of the vanilla. And you can see it's extracting the flavor, the color. All of those little vanilla bean specks are starting to immerse themselves into the liquid. I'm telling you, this is absolutely phenomenal. And this is my vanilla bean bottle in terms of my vanilla extract that I do have in my cupboard. As you can see at the bottom there, I do have all of those beans that are just sitting in there, macerating and continuing to just make this better and better over time. Some people do use rum, some people use brandy as the alcohol solvent to extract the vanilla flavor. I'm a purist. I want nothing but the flavor of the vanilla in my extract, and so I use vodka because vodka it's colorless, it's flavorless, and really what it leaves me with is the essence of vanilla. And so what I'm going to do here, this is just an old olive oil bottle that I've washed out before we started to fill this. We're going to add to this, just top this up. There we are. And there we are. So we will fill this up. It's going to take a little bit less than what's in my jar here. And so there we are. I will just seal this back up, put it back in the cupboard. And there we are. A liter of beautiful vanilla extract with those beans continuing to macerate in there. Absolutely stellar. And before we go, we're just going to give this a quick taste just to see how we did. Intensely vanilla. Oh, that's beautiful. Floral. It's got a great intensity. Absolutely love that. Slightly sweet with the sugar. This is great for any bakery applications. And so you know what? I invite you to try this. It's a great thing to do at home. And like I said, from a cost perspective, much more cost effective than buying this stuff off the shelf. You know what's in it, and nothing but the good stuff. So this is Coach Joe saying I will see you on the next one.